This video is on grade 11 probability, specifically tree diagrams. Let's jump right in with a question. So, given here they say a grade 7 teacher collected the mathematic workbook from his 25 students. And as we mentioned, that is going to be our sample space. Some of the learners in the class are boys, and the other, or the remainder, are girls. The teacher randomly selected the first book from the pile and marked it. He then again randomly selected a second book from the pile and marked that. What we need to see here is the book was not placed back. So this is technically a tree diagram without replacement. Alright. Very important to note. Then they say the probability that the first two books marked belong to boys is 7 out of 20. So what are they telling us there? If both books belong to boys, then it is the B group. And they ask us in the question, calculate the number of girls in this class. Alright, to jump right in, we know we need a tree diagram. Let's take a look. Let's use blue for boys and purple for girls. Okay, so if we had to choose a boy or a girl from that first chart, or from that first pick, remember he picked up a book randomly at first. The chances of picking up a boy's book would be however many boys there are out of 25. That would be that probability based on the formula n of boys probability of boys rather would be the number of boys over the total number in the class. That's what we mean by B over 25 over there. Okay, now same thing with the girls. What is the probability that we choose a girl at first? Well, that would be girls, the number of girls in the class over the total number, the sample space. Okay, and then he does not return the boy's book. Instead, he goes and takes another book to mark, because marking is, well, for a teacher, essential. We need to get through everything. So then there's another chance that we choose a different book, and we need to consider it could be a girl's book or a boy's book. So now we have purple and blue again. Now for the purple, the girls, if he chose a girl's book over here, then technically here at the bottom this would be the amount of girls minus 1 for that book that was already marked over the 24 learners, because he did not put that other book back. And if we had to look at the boy side over there, if we are on this branch over here, this means he took a girl's book first. So the boys haven't changed and the total would be 24. But the question says that he took a boy's book first. So we are actually operating on this side and we can forget everything we just wrote down. If he took this boy's book first, then the amount of boys in the class is now less 1 because one of the boys' books is out. And the total is 24. And the girls over here on this branch would be the same amount of girls, because on this branch a girl's book hasn't been taken yet, and the total would be 24. Now, if we had to look at the product of the branches, this first one would be boys over 25 multiplied boy minus 1 over 24. And likewise, for this, the second branch, it would be boys over 25. And let's just go to the girls' color quickly. Multiplied girls over 24. And so we would go on. That is for that branch over there. Like so. Okay, so just to see that, if we had to follow this pathway of girls, boys, we get that, or girls, girls, we get that. But like we said, this question just focuses on the top one over here, and it tells us that our answer for that product sum has to be 7 over 20. So what we can do is we can now solve for B. At first glance, what you need to realize is this is a product sum. which means numerator multiplied numerator and denominator multiplied denominator. So this becomes b squared minus b over the product of 25 and 24 equals 7 over 20. And to get b squared minus b alone, you multiply both sides with the product of 25 and 24, and we get b squared minus b equals 210. And whenever we see this square over here, we know it means trinomial. So b squared minus b, we need to subtract 210 on both sides to remove it on the right, so minus 210 equals 0. As promised, trinomial equals 0. Now, the amount of boys in the class would therefore be, that would be b plus, b minus, which would be minus 15 multiplied 14. Should give us minus 1, yes. So therefore, b could be either minus 14 boys, which we know is not applicable, or we could have b equals 15, which is 15 boys. Makes sense. Now they asked us to find the amount of girls. So we can say, therefore, if we are looking at boys and girls in the classroom and they have to equal 25, then the girls would be 25 minus 15, which would be 10. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and become part of the Whiteboard family. Goodbye.